Previously on Mars.
We at MMC feel that we're ready to go faster.
Phase 2 expansion was underway, and the Cygnus crew had arrived with experts to oversee our upgrades.
Base commander, and a son.
We'd hoped to have their second facility up by now, but been running into trouble every step of the way.
Within 2 months, we'll have enough power to double the size and capacity of your facilities.
Hannah proved this?
I informed her, yes.
It's a little too ambitious right now.
You don't go to Mars without ambition.
No matter how hard Ed Grant's team worked to expand Olympus Town's infrastructure, Mars worked even harder to tear it down.
Oliver!
And I was caught in the middle, trying to keep us alive.
Our dream is now a reality.
They don't know Mars.
I don't think we're gonna get a chance to get that reactor back online.
We're coming in too fast now. Everyone is burning bright. Seconds, baby, and heaven is a trick of the light. Call down, my love, call down. We're coming in too fast now. Everyone is riding less. 182 seconds, baby, and heaven is a dress unknown. Call down, my love, call down, my love, call down, my love, call down, my love.
Pressurization complete. Perchlorate deposits detected. Please sanitize before entry.
Songhana, mission entry phase 2. We've been in full storm protocol for the last 2 months, trying to budget the power and resources we have. The way current satellite forecasts are looking, it could be anywhere between 5 to 8, 9 weeks before the storm passes. There's no sign of relief. Experiments have been put on hold. All EVAs suspended. The days seem like they go on forever, filled with inane tasks and darkness.
Et aucune grande personne ne comprendra jamais ce que ça a tellement d'importance. My grandfather used to read me this book on long blizzard nights. I hope this storm ends before I have the whole thing memorized.
We never had a chance to bring the nuclear reactor back online after Oliver's accident. Our redundancies are gone, and we're on backup power. I don't like running like this. It means we're just one complication away from a complete outage. Dr. Leslie Richardson may be overseeing Olympus Town's infrastructure now. But I'm still responsible for the safety of everyone in it.
There are 2 brothers.
Nick.
Twins.
That grow light, can you just take it out?
And their father, the king. And the king still decide who to give the kingdom to.
Doctor,
This is not a good time, sorry.
we have to start rationing power.
These lamps are inadequate to begin with. And now we're only utilizing 50% of their potential output.
We've barely enough power to keep the feed system running. I'm struggling to keep these crop yield as it was 2 months ago.
I know. The solar arrays are useless in the storm.
We have to reserve power for critical systems. If we hadn't taken the nuclear reactor offline before the storm, I've instructed Robert to dial the greenhouse power down to 1/4 output.
Please. They're only babies.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
Would you leave me alone, please?
Of course.
I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
With Robert squeezing every last bit of energy out of our reserves, we're all just hanging on as we try to weather the storm.
We've been studying the dust storms of Mars for quite some time. And there's a particular season where some of the dust storms can actually go global, not just regional, but global. Dust storms of Mars can be absolutely enormous. It can be 20 to 30 kilometers high. And in fact, the dust can get charged. And in the case of these really tall dust storms, lightning can strike.
These dust storms are huge. They can cover the entire planet, and they can last for months. They're visible from space. Mars just kind of turns into a hazy red ball, and we can't see surface features anymore with our satellites. The dust, it's not like sand, it's like talcum powder. It's very, very microscopically small, nasty dust particles. And if they get into your lungs, it's a human safety issue. So you would want to try to keep it out as much as possible.
There's a lot of dust on Mars. You know, we've learned from our rovers on Mars that they're constantly getting covered in dust. And one of the problems with solar panels is that dust would cover them almost instantly, or they would simply block out the sun so much that they don't work. If you got a dust storm that lasted for a month on Mars and you were relying on solar power, you'd be in big trouble.
Hi, Mum. We have no energy and I can't keep my plants alive. This storm has been raging for months. They call it a season. I can't do my job.
You told us we were sending the best minds on Earth, doubling the power, expanding the infrastructure. These people have been trapped in a dust storm for 2 months with a third of the power they had before you had your prodigy shut it down.
This storm is just a bump in the road. We have the world's leading agronomist working around the clock. He's getting hybrids producing. And that will make Olympus town self-sustaining. That means Mars will have the resources to feed thousands of people. And those people are going to need rockets to get there. We own the hybrids, and we build the rockets. We just have to play the long game.
She left. She left. But not you.
It's gonna be okay. These are the times that try men's souls.
Paul Richardson, please report to the Med Lab. Paul Richardson, please report to the Med Lab.
I thought once we got here, we'd have some real destruction plans. Storm. I know.
Dr. Richardson, please come in.
Look, if this is a bad time, I've got a lot of work.
No. We'll talk more at next week's session, and I'm here in the meantime whenever you need me, okay? Come in. Just a quick examination and you'll be on your way. This storm, it's getting to everyone.
How are you holding up?
I'm fine.
You prepare for everything you can, but there are some things you just cannot train for. Are you missing home?
No.
That would be okay, you know. To miss home. It would be normal, even.
I'm okay.
And your wife? How are things with you and her?
We're working mostly. Look, I could really...
And how is the work? The hybrids? How are they coming along?
They're trying. They're really trying.
Hey. I know it's hard. Especially now, but maybe the best thing is to take a little time away from the work and refill the well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I couldn't save them. They weren't strong enough. They died so that you could live. It's all on you. It's all on you. We're going to be strong. Just remember, we have it in our power to start the world over again. We have the power.
God bless Mars.
Mars sounds like a terrifically romantic idea. What could be a greater adventure? The realities of this adventure are almost depressing, and they're significant. There are a lot of challenges involved in surviving in a very small spacecraft with a few other human beings for 8 months at a time, and then being able to deal with the idea that you're not going back to Earth for possibly decades, so that you're leaving everything behind, and maintaining a psychological balance in what is really a vast desert and unfriendly environment is not going to be easy for people.
It's always wise to test what you're about to do in advance. If you want to live on Mars, isolated, create some kind of HAB module on Earth. Test that in advance.
We've been here just over 7 months, and we've got just under 5 to go. So it's like 140-something days left. It's been a long time.
HI-SEAS is a NASA-funded research analog and simulation. It's located at about 8,000 feet on the slopes of Mauna Loa here in Hawaii, so the crews we put there are very isolated. The goal of HI-SEAS is to be as close as possible to a Mars mission, so that means we put a lot of constraints on the crew.
Groups of people living together is what civilization is. We're very good at it. Interestingly, the biggest problem is when you have a small group of people.
So you'll notice there are only 4 crew members here. And well, here are the other 2.
Yeah, when you have a small number of people, the biggest risk to mission success is those people not getting along. And even if they're very, very professional about it, if they're not getting along and they're not communicating enough, there's going to be problems.
To talk to people who've been in prison, the lack of control over your environment and your life is stressful. To not be able to just do what you want to do when you want to do it is a stressor. This is what it will be like to be on a Mars mission.
I know that we face far less danger than the Mars mission. That's okay. This is a simulation, just like any other simulation. But these aren't just simulated effects, these are real. We really are isolated. We really do feel separated from planet Earth. And this is the part of the simulation that NASA is interested in.
What we're concerned with is how resilient are the crew. If you think about it, the human part of a Mars mission is just as critical as the technological part. If the human part breaks, it's just as disastrous as if the rocket blows up.
How's it going, Emmanuel? I know that I haven't been around a lot. We're working really hard. Systems are all experiencing losses. We're moving slowly. We're all trying to work together as a team. Some days are good, some days are rough, and it's okay, you know. Never realized how hard it was trying to hold it together. It'd just be tough. Just be tough.
Well, I can't keep the plants alive at this level.
What do you want me to say? We should have been at twice the power now, at least. So, I don't know what else to say.
And no one anticipated a storm of this magnitude?
Of course not. That storm was moving faster than anything we've ever monitored this early in the season. How could we? Plan was there. There's nothing else we can do at this point. Let's face it. Oh. Really? Do you even try to tidy up before you come home? I mean, I did my job. The team's training was impeccable. The plan was bulletproof. It should have worked. They should have had nuclear fully up and running by now. Before we even got here. Do you think I don't feel awful that Oliver got hurt? It's constantly on my mind. Did you know? Sometimes I feel as if people are not really looking at me when I pass them in the hall. Paul? Darling?
Also showing emotional strain is Dr. Richardson Paul J. While Richardson reports no psychological issues, his affect and behavior with the crew is... I request psychiatric consultation and review of prior and current mental health testing. Please send all records via private med link. Thanks.
The lightning strike must have blown the junction box between Olympus and the reserve power station.
Every second that passes, we are draining batteries, just keeping her breathable and heat running.
I've got May back online in the main terminal. May, what's the status on critical systems?
Climate recycling rates decreased to 75% nominal. Current rate of temperature decline, 3 degrees Celsius per hour.
I have to make repairs.
There's no way I'm sending anyone out there. It's way too dangerous.
There is no visibility. You'll be completely blind.
We'll take the rover. Get as close as we can.
It's gonna be slow going, but it's the only shot we have.
It is.
All right. Good luck.
Hey, I've been calling.
I'm sorry. I've had my hands full. 2.5 months in a dust storm means cleanup down here, too. Walk with me.
I want to talk to you about increasing freighter launches. Our assembly line can handle it.
I'm still doing damage control after losing power in the middle of a dust storm. You want to talk to me about freighters? The nations are getting cold feet, Ed. This is a public relations exercise. And the public sentiment is as low as it's ever been. China's talking about pulling out.
Don't worry about that. As long as the US and EU stay on board, no way China risks missing the glory down the road.
Olympus Town was ready for this storm. The nuclear reactor was operational before you gambled on an accelerated schedule. Your expansion plan was science fiction.
The money doesn't come without expansion. No money, no MMC, no MMC, no mission. It was the right play.
This isn't some lush frontier land. They're fighting for every step of the way. We push too hard too fast, something's gonna break.
Interference detected in all navigational systems.
The electrostatics are whacking guidance to hell. Can't see anything.
We can triangulate to 7.5 meter discrepancy.
Good thing I came to help.
When I was a child, the Hamilton wind would blow into Lagos from the Sahara. Sandstorms will cover the whole city, sometimes all the way to the ocean. People will lose their way, turn up kilometers out, skiing raw from the sandburn, lawns filled with dust. You'll have plenty to do when we find the junction box, just making sure I don't get lost out there. Believe me, I am grateful for the company.
Do you still think about it? The ocean.
Every day, trouble is. Every time it's like the waves are getting a little quieter.
Like someone's turning down the volume.
Yeah. Last week I realized I couldn't even remember what the ocean sounded like. Yeah. We're gonna be okay.
Sure.
Well, I hope so. Me too.
No matter where of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms, of look at you. Look at you. You are so strong. Oh, well done. You clever, clever thing. I'm gonna introduce you to your brothers. For God's sake, let us sit on the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. How some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wife, some sleeping killed, or murdered. For within the hollow crown that grants the mortal temples of a king keeps death his court. You are gonna love this. This is going to be a treat just for you.
Leslie!
Look, I'm up to date on weeklies, so if this is supplemental, I can save you the trouble. I miss home, but I'm not homesick. I don't ever think of hurting myself or anyone else. I'm not experiencing any more stress than anyone would under the circumstances, and the only voices in my head are the ones telling me to get back to work.
I'm not worried about you. I spoke to Paul, and he seemed distant.
He's just focused.
I checked his ration allotment, and he's hardly eating.
He forgets sometimes. Look, he lives for his work, and he can't do it. What do you expect? Can I go now?
Yeah, sure.
We don't think it's a trivial thing to send people off to Mars and just assume that intelligence and motivation and getting along before they go is going to be enough. We actually have to understand who is going to have a real problem with prolonged exploration in an extreme environment. Not everyone can tolerate the isolation, the loneliness, the risk to life and limb. Some people disintegrate psychologically and behaviorally. And you look back at many of the explorations where humans moved across thousands of miles, you typically will see dysfunction occur in crews. It happened on Shackleton's mission to the South Pole. He puts his men off at Elephant Island and tries to get to South Georgia Island, 800 miles in heavy seas. But he's got a very dysfunctional carpenter, psychologically sick. So he has to take him along because he can't leave him with the crew, because it's going to create chaos. On Mars, just like the 19th century explorers, you might see fragmenting of the crews, and you find these dynamics in these historical records, and you see how problematic they are for the success of a mission.
Someone wrote this at the end of the 4th century. St. Augustine. My memory contains my feelings. Not in the same way as they are present to the mind when it experiences them, but in a quite different way. That is in keeping with the special powers of the memory. For even when I am unhappy, I can remember times when I was cheerful. And when I'm cheerful, I can remember past unhappiness. I can recall past fears, and yet not feel afraid. And when I remember that once I wanted something, I can do so without wishing to have it now. Sometimes memory can induce the opposite feeling.
Jake, still taking your antibiotics?
For I can be glad to remember sorrow that is over and done with.
Alice, feeling better?
And sorry to remember happiness that has come to an end.
second. Okay, I got your signal.
Junction box should be less than 5 meters south. 6 degrees northeast. Anything? Negative.
You should be seeing the cable now.
I have no vision. You're breaking up. Javier. I can't hear you.
What?
Javier. Javier.
Robert, do you copy?
Hello, Javier. I said it's dead ahead.
Dead ahead.
Copy that. Damn it. You okay?
Robert, you okay?
Robert, I'm out of room on my tether. Okay, Robert. You need to come back to the rover. I can't move the rover any further forward because of the terrain. It's too dangerous out there with the storm. So we can't risk it. Come back. Robert, you need to come back. I'm gonna unclip. No, Robert. Not unclip. Not unclip, Robert. Come back. Robert. Robert, do you copy? Do you not unclip, Robert? Robert, answer me. Robert, do not unclip. You can't hear me, Robert. Where are you? Come on. Robert, come on. Robert. Come on, Robert. Robert, I need you to come back here. Robert. Robert.
The challenge people face when they do exploration is that they're used to handling conflict or disagreement or dislike with each other by separating and being apart for a while. With spaceflight or any exploration that involves intense confinement, where you can't get away from the other people and you're all in a very tiny space, the whole idea of individual territoriality becomes a problem. It sounds astonishing, billion-dollar explorations, and yet it comes down to the little things that will often determine what happens. These things definitely occur. They occur in the Antarctic and they occur in other analogs. The Russians created something called the Mars 500 mission, which was a 520-day full simulation of a crew of 6 to Mars and back.
They will live as if they were in an interplanetary spaceship. They will eat, sleep, and train as if they were real astronauts.
They sealed the crew in the chamber and isolated them so they couldn't have social contact. And then they held the crew to not only the time delays, but to a full simulated mission to Mars. So there was a landing on a Martian surface simulated, and it was many, many months. And to go to the bottom line, out of 6 crew members, 2 managed to maintain stable activity levels and were psychologically healthy. 4 other crew members experienced problems with mood, emotion, impulsivity, insomnia. These were people who were astronaut trainers and physicians. So they knew about spaceflight. Even with that kind of a skilled and analog crew that is close to astronauts, you find the crew is suffering. We don't understand why people equally trained and equally intelligent, equally capable as astronauts will have different rates of vulnerability. We actually have to understand who is going to have a real problem in spaceflight, because ultimately there are some people who are going to have a really hard time.
Robert? Come on, Robert. Talk to me. Come back here. Robert, need coffee. Robert. Piss. Talk to me, Robert. Do you copy? Robert, do you copy? Robert. Robert. Found it!
What?
You found it! I found the cable! Oh, Jesus! Yeah, man! You scared the hell out of me. I'm here. How about it, Sid? Looks like my ex-wife's cooking. The chef? The lawyer? Yeah, I can imagine, man. And can you fix it? The junction box. It's gonna take some work. But I can do it. I can fix it.
We spent all this time looking for something greater than us. Something that'll bring us all together. But what if it's not even there? I used to think the struggle was enough. Lately, I'm having a hell of a time imagining Sisyphus happy. I'm running out. I miss you so much. Come home. Okay? I want you to come home.
Finally. When we thought it could only get darker, there was light.
Power restored. Solar power up online. Eastern section systems fully online. Environmental system restored. Thermal control restored. Recycling systems restored. Central section systems.
anyone?
Eastern section systems fully online. Greenhouse systems fully online.
Commander Soon, please come to the facility monitors immediately. Commander Soon, please come to the facility monitors now.
Oliver, what's going on?
It's Paul Richardson.
What is he doing?
Greenhouse airlock compromised. Imminent danger.
Sam, get to the pressure door immediately. Evacuate the west section, now! Sam, seal the door.
There are people in there.
Sam, you have to seal the door.